Hello, welcome to Moments to Russia. It's going to be a very busy show today. Trust me, we have a guest who is going to do justice to so much. We don't have enough time and we have so much to do. Welcome, please. Welcome, Adeola Adelawon. You all know him if you are in football in Nigeria and all. He is for now the chairman of the Kayode United Football Club in the NL League. But he does more than that. He's a football enthusiast. Since his primary school days, he played football from that level to secondary school, to university, to everywhere. I mean, nice to have you here. It's really, a big pleasure that you're joining us.
Thank you, Kayode. Thank you for having me.
All right, your first shot.
Well, it's great to be here. It's nice to talk about the World Cup. I am looking forward to the World Cup. I really would have a great time, watching the World Cup. And what more? Nigeria is playing, and I'll be rooting for Nigeria.
Are you sure you are going to be that relaxed when Nigeria, Argentina, Nigeria, Croatia, even Iceland? Are you going to watch it without any tension? It's not possible.
Oh, is it possible to? Football is a game of passion. And if you're Nigerian and you're watching Nigeria, there's no way you would not be tense. But, one will control, all that tension and try to enjoy the beautiful game of football.
What is it like running a football club in Nigeria?
Kayode, I think you need another program for that, to be honest.
But summary.
But in summary, there are some of us who are dogged enough, to hang in there and say that, look, we're going to get it right. It's very, very tough. Obviously, you know that, you require quite a bit of money, to run the game. But everything, from its management, to the referees, to we can, there are big rooms for improvement. Let me just put it like that.
And you will do it all over again?
Oh, we will continue to do it for as long as God gives us the strength to do so.
Okay, I'll come back to you on that again. Like I told you, this program is going to be a different one, very different. We have so much lined up here. Let's see how far we can go. We want to start with something very interesting. It's not just about the goals alone. We're talking about fashion. We're talking about footballers, their lifestyles, their lifestyle, their hairstyle, the costume, everything. Trust me, it's an area a lot of people have really not looked at before. But before we track that up for you, a lot of players have their... Is this something you are used to, all these players, as young as they are, even before they get to that top? Is it a psychological thing for them that, you know what, this kind of hairstyle, if I have this kind of hairstyle on, I'm completely invincible to the opponents?
Well, I think it's obviously, purely, psychological. Because you look at it, the reason, why do they do it? They want to stand out. Okay? So the chances are that you will go and watch the game and you'll remember the guy, who has, the gold-colored hair, particularly if he was the one that got the goal. Okay? So that's really the reason why they do it. And if it boosts you, psychologically, then hopefully it will show up on the field of pitch. But I often say sometimes, when a guy does things like that and he doesn't quite prove himself, I would say that he should spend more time, practicing his football rather than watching the barbers.
Will you tell Taribo where's that?
No, but Taribo was a great footballer. So, he justified whatever looks he put up there. Okay, and I think Taribo also thought that that would scare quite a few opponents.
Against them back. Interesting. When you look at the attires, the players, the elegance they bring to the game and all, you know quite a lot about football. You've played it to a high level. Psychologically, does it help you to calm down? Because football is a very tough game.
Yeah, the thing with football, and you have to realize that, is that apart from the physical requirements, attributes that also you need to play the game, there's also the psychological part, and all of these things come together to give you a whole picture of a player. Like I said, if these things in totality makes you feel great, makes you feel good,
it works for you.
Yeah, it works for you. So by all means, go out and do it. There are players who believe that they must enter the pitch, turning their back to enter the pitch, as if, you think that they're going into a mortuary or whatever. But the thing is, if it works, for you, why not? Yeah, no, it does. Because it's your normal routine. There are players who says that they listen to music at very high, high volume to be able to calm their nerves, and all that. But I think each player knows what is best for them, and that's why we see all sorts of things on the pitch of play.
All right, we're going to track out something very interesting for you now. It's about fashion, the lifestyle, everything in the history of the FIFA World Cup from 1930 in Uruguay till now. Enjoy this.
Then along came the 1970s, which was to be the watermark for a complete carefree abandon in the footballers' fashion stakes for the next 30 years. If there is one genre of footballers' haircut that has become synonymous with the game, it's the mullet. Short on top, long at the back. Thomas Scuravi here with Eastern Europe's blueprint. Tony Polster's Austrian perm variation on the traditional mullet, a terrifying prospect. Jens Jeremy's wrapped version in 1998 drove his own players to plead with him to have it cut. Ah, the old master, Rudi Völler, quite simply permed genius. And Paul Mariner's '82 version left everyone shaking their heads. Sometimes, though, in the football fashion world, an entire nation can take the honours. Step forward, the USA. Tony Meola here with an interesting variation on the mullet with a semi-rat's tail. Clint Mathis's Mohican in 2002 speaks for itself. Here we have Alexi Lalas and Marcelo Balboa forming a slick unit at the back and the sides, and all over really, Balboa's moustache complementing Lalas's pointed ginger beard. Perhaps the greatest example of how far a team is willing to go to show solidarity, team spirit, and the clearest example of an absence of any mirrors at their camp was the Romanian team at France 1998. Having beaten England in the group stages, the Romanians decided to illustrate their unity by all of the players dyeing their hair bright yellow. The only player spared was goalkeeper Stelea. At the World Cup in France '98, Argentina advanced to the quarter-finals. Under the management of Daniel Passarella, the side had strict new guidelines enforced upon them. This meant some of the country's most influential attackers, such as Redondo and Canigia, were omitted from the squad after refusing to adhere to the regulations concerning appearance, which included a ban on long hair. Even the original shaggy mane himself, Gabriel Batistuta, conformed to the rules so he could play at the finals. One moment that everyone could truly celebrate. In today's modern game, the professional footballer has a certain image outside the game. Players' image rights are now worth fortunes, and they have to look the part away from the playing field. However, there have been occasions when a footballer's outfit has defied comprehension. It's not just footballers in the limelight, even the referees get it wrong. Check this guy out from 1938. There has always been a sense of glamour around the World Cup. Certain footballers' wives spring to mind. In the '62 tournament, pulses were sent racing by the exciting football. The same could not be said for football's early edition of the Glamour Girls. Think of Spain and think of its great cultured and stylish cities like Barcelona. At the 1982 World Cup, the Spanish side tried to display this style when modelling suits for an advert, but it went badly wrong after a misunderstanding that they needed more flair in their side. And the suits, just like Spain at the World Cup, were loose at the back. But fashion is not restricted to the players. Cameroon coach Winfried Schaefer left himself bemused at what he'd done to his hair. And Bruno Metsu, Senegal's master tactician who defeated reigning world champions France in 2002, or Michael Bolton lookalike. The jury's still out. Praying no one would notice, Bulgaria's Boris Mikhailov donned a wig in 1994. Much like Samson though, after the wig departed, so did Mikhailov's reflexes. After retiring, he opened his own wig-making company. In the 1990s, goalkeepers grabbed the limelight in their fluorescent kit. Austrian keeper Klaus Lindenberger kept the opposition attackers shot shy in 1990 by wearing his own version of a clown's outfit. Yet the true master of the neon kit is Jorge Campos of Mexico. Campos was a good keeper and one of Mexico's best players at the 1994 FIFA World Cup, but it was in the blinding kit designed by himself where he excelled.
Nice to have you back. We have a giant in the house, but insist that he has to be Mr. We are still going to ask him why he has to be Mr. because he's a big man of many parts, achieved so much for decades. Adeola Adelanwa is here. A lot of you know him as the chairman of Ikorodu United and a lot of other things. Like I told you, he's a man of many parts. Still lovely to have you with us.
Thank you.
Okay, what we want to do now is to talk about the Super Eagles jerseys. It really generated a lot of noise in the social media space and even the conventional media. And Mirror in UK voted it the best when it comes to all the teams going for the FIFA World Cup 2018. How do you rate those jerseys?
Fantastic. That's one word to put it. I looked at the courts. I look at the colors. The way they Nike put that jersey together is fantastic. I really do hope that fans would have the opportunity to be able to pick up, replica jerseys because apart from the fact that we're Nigerians, and we should support Nigeria, that is a jersey that you can surely wear to the discotheque, and you would still be cool. Fantastic jersey.
So what would you tell those who were criticizing it?
Well, I don't think that there will be one single endeavor that humans do that everybody would align with. There are people who are just prone to criticizing every single thing that comes out. But from what I have seen, and if Mirror, can stick their neck out and say that that's one of the best jerseys ever, then you must think that there must be something about that jersey itself. So the people who are criticizing it, I would wait for them to get their hands on the jersey, and then maybe they'll still say the same thing. But I think, we've got a great jersey, going to the World Cup. Okay,
we've done this on this program before, but we really need you to join in for Europe, for South America. They keep winning the FIFA World Cup from 1930, Uruguay, Argentina. For South America, you see Spain later, you see... this is not strange. I mean, it's like... they are the only one who are going to win the World Cup till eternity.
First, let me say that they're not going to win the World Cup for eternity. But clearly, they've had a head start, against all the other continents. First of all, the game was invented, in Brazil, and then the Europeans took it over, and they have modernized it. Not just that, they have also turned it into a huge business. Okay, so they've built a process, out of it, and so it's not by accident that the winners, keep alternating from South America.
So what are they doing that Africa, Asia is not doing?
Well, Africa is clear what we're not doing. We're not organized enough. We have to. Until we begin to see that industry itself can employ so much, in terms of the number of people. then we will begin to treat it with the kind of respect it deserves. We think that it's just a game, so we go up and just play. No, you just don't go up and play. They prepare. They have a process. And so that's why you can see that the countries that have won the World Cup, you can count them on your fingertips.
Exactly.
I even say that Spain and England are outsiders.
Yeah.
But if you look at the others, they've won it multiple times.
Definitely.
And there's a reason for that, because they understand it. They kind of have a manual.
All right, I'm sorry for breaking your chain of thought, but look at it this way. 1994, I followed West House team throughout. That game against Italy, a lot of people believe it has nothing to do with any other thing apart from the fact that we did not take it serious, or we really underrated Italy, or we are out of sorts. Because we could have just gone out of the group and done anything then. So what really happened, 94?
Well, in my own view, 94 was the best opportunity for Africa to have played in the semi-finals of the World Cup.
And we led against Italy.
Yes, we did. We led against them. But all the things that happened, behind the scenes.
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, what we were told was that the coach Westerhoff, claimed that there were too many visitors into the players' hotel, so he moved them to another hotel. But some players stayed behind, so they really didn't have any training sessions, except one just the day before the game against Italy. Imagine. So it would look like it's going to be like tough luck, but no,
against Italy.
Yes, we did not train.
Wow.
And then the other thing we have to also understand is that, and this is of course Vision 2020, which is perfect. Arigosaki, you remember what his interview? He said the eagles can fly, but I am going to clip their wings. And we did not realize that what he meant was that they were going to take out Amonike and Amokachi.
Siasia was on this program and said he should have been the one to have replaced one of them. That West Ham had things against him. He said it on this program. Do you think Siasia would have changed things if he had gone in for one of these two players?
No, I even have a different opinion about that. I don't think the changes that Westerhoff made were totally poor, but I felt that at the time when he brought in, I think it was Oliha, that choice should have been Stephen Keshi. Obviously he had issues with Keshi, and maybe that's why he didn't play him, because what you needed was somebody with a cool head at that time.
Keshi at that time was battling injury one way.
Yeah, but he was fit to play. He was fit to play. It wasn't that he was coming into play. Because sometimes in football you just need that leader.
But a lot of people blame Olise for not clear the ball. Or even his colleagues were saying that, you should not have been joking with a player
Olise was not joking. Olise wanted to take the ball. He was playing. I mean, it's not a game that Olise is used to just clear the ball.
So how painful was it for you, like a lot of people, 4 minutes to go?
That was the day.
4 minutes.
That was the day that I learned that you must eat your meal before a game of football, if you are so passionate. Because I did not eat my meal before the game, and I couldn't eat after that. I really could not eat. I think I couldn't eat for 1